Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about when it's time to let go of a toxic relationship and how to achieve happiness after letting go. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get more Robbie updates as well as see all of my videos that I post. Okay, so throughout my life, I've had to let go of several relationships for my own well-being. My mother being one of them, as well as my father and my brother. My mother was somebody who oftentimes made excuses for her mental health versus getting the actual help for her mental health. And over time, she just became somebody who was extremely exhausting. And I felt like more times than not, I was parenting her versus her parenting me. And it got to a place where something very tragic had happened in my life that affected me deeply. And when I reached out to my mother to help me with this situation, she in turn made it about her and how she was feeling, and she was not there for me during that difficult time. I knew at that point in my life that it was time to let go and move on, not because I didn't love her, but because I did love her. And I didn't want to lash out at her because I was hurt and angry, and I knew that she would never be able to fulfill the role that I needed her to fulfill in my life. And so for that reason, I let go of that relationship. With my father, he also has severe mental health issues. However, he fails to acknowledge them and he does not seek help or see that he has an issue. He is a pathological liar and has spent most of my life telling crazy stories to people. He told people he was in war. He was never in war. He was 9 years old whenever there was a grenade going on, and he had a mole removed off of his back, but he tells people it's where he had a bullet removed. And so my father is just a very imaginative man, and he likes to elaborate and tell stories. And I always had wondered if he believed his lies or if he knew he was lying. And it got to a point where I'd gone to dinner with him and one of his girlfriends, and he told her the story about being in war. And I said, "Really?" I said, "That's so interesting. Can you tell me some of your war stories?" And he looked at me and under his breath said, "Shut up." And I said, "Got it." And so from that point forward, I was well aware that he knew he was lying. And so for me, somebody who is self-aware enough to know that they're lying and does it anyway, that just didn't fit into my life and the person that I wanted to become. And so I had to let go of that relationship. It was really difficult. It was painful. Every day in my life, I wish I had a mom and a dad, but unfortunately I don't. And I love them despite not having them in my life. I forgive them for everything that they've done. And I am grateful for things that have happened because it's made me a better and stronger person. And so just because somebody is blood or family, it does not mean that you have to hold on to that relationship. Neither do you have to hold on to friendships. Recently, I had a best friend of 8 years, and when our show aired on Dr. Phil, she had been in a newer relationship and was dating, and the episode was to come out on Wednesday. On Monday and Tuesday, she had time in the evening that we could have hung out. I could have drove to her house, and she prioritized her new relationship and said she just wanted to hang out with her boyfriend and watch TV the night before. And the day of the episode, she had to work. And so it was really frustrating to me to see that I was constantly putting her as my priority, and I was doing things for her, like she had foreclosed on her house. And so I went with her to pack up her belongings because that was really difficult for her. And then she let her car get repossessed, and I went and put down $3,000 for her to get a new car the next day and got her into a new car and lent her that money. And I did so many things for her, and I was just giving and giving and giving of myself. But it got to a point where I felt like I was giving and I wasn't receiving. And when I really needed her to pull through and be my person that we had agreed to be for one another, I feel like over the last 2 years, she was just letting me down over and over. And so the relationship actually became more toxic and painful than good. So for me, I had to let go of that relationship after 8 years because I knew that it didn't serve the purpose that it once served. We used to be like sisters and would have been there for each other no matter what, through everything. And to the point that we were going to get tattoos that said sisters, because we truly accepted and loved each other as sisters. And I still love her. I still accept her. There wasn't a falling out. It wasn't a miserable, I hate you, let go. This was truly a well thought out, I'm sorry, but this relationship no longer works for me. We've kind of outgrown each other morally. And she just had a lot of red flags that I didn't feel comfortable with. And so we just kind of outgrew each other. So letting go sometimes is really hard, but it's also very necessary if you plan to grow as a person. Had I held on to those toxic relationships in my life, I would not be the woman that I am today. I would not be as strong as I am today, and I wouldn't be me, the me that I am right now. And so sometimes letting go can feel painful and it can feel awful. And don't think for 1 second that I didn't want to reach out and reconnect with these people over time, but you just have to be strong and know that you let go for a reason. It doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that you chose healthiness and happiness for yourself. So some of the reasons that are appropriate to walk away from people would be if your morals no longer align. If you don't see eye to eye on morals, it's extremely difficult to carry forward a relationship when you're constantly battling each other morally. Another reason that I would say is safe to move on from a person is if you feel like the relationship is just toxic. So maybe this person is jealous constantly or nagging at you constantly or belittling you, or maybe they're just mean. You can't have a toxic relationship, and if you do, it's probably time to let that go. Also, another reason would be sometimes we just outgrow each other in life, and like friendships. Some friends are for now friends, some are for a short while, and some are for a lifetime. And honestly, there's no real rhyme or reason why we grow apart. Just sometimes we do. Sometimes we grow apart. Sometimes maybe you have a baby and your other friend doesn't have a baby and they still like to go out and drink and party, and you're over here being mom and you don't like to drink anymore. So you guys just might have outgrown each other, but that doesn't mean you stop loving each other, and that doesn't mean that you don't say hello in passing. Just sometimes you outgrow people and it might be time to let go. Another good reason to let go is if you feel like you're not receiving as much as you're giving. So if you constantly feel like you're putting in effort towards the friendship, you're constantly giving of yourself, sacrificing your time, sacrificing your money, sacrificing your status as a human being for your other person, and that person is not reciprocating that, and they're not respecting your time and giving of their time, and maybe they're not giving of themselves emotionally when you need them to be there, then it might be time for you to let go, and perhaps you've outgrown that person. Another reason to let go of a person is if you feel like the person is only using you for gain. So if a person is constantly asking for money or constantly asking for you to save them or to buy them things, then it's probably not the right person, and it might be time to let go of that person. I think in relationships, if you do try to hold on to these people, we have to, as people, set healthy boundaries and let people know that these are the things we are comfortable with and these are the things that we're not comfortable with. So in any relationship, I think boundaries are so important and so healthy. And I also think that we just need to realize that letting go doesn't mean we're bad people. It just means that we're people who love ourselves and we're putting ourselves first. So my thing is, I always say to you guys, live your absolute best life. Just live your best life. And sometimes people are going to join you for that, and sometimes people are going to fall away, and that's okay too. But as long as you're loving yourself and you're doing everything out of love, then you're not a failure and you can't fail, because anything done through love is the right thing to do. Okay guys, I hope this video helped give some clarification. I know a lot of you were asking me to make this video for a while and I just haven't found the time to do it, but I did want to post it because it is near and dear to my heart, and I hope that it's helpful to you guys. And as always, if anybody needs to reach out, please feel free to contact me via Facebook or email, and you can find that information on my About section on my channel and also in my video comments. So, all right guys, that's it. I will talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.